Yo, what's going on, everyone? Aztecs here. We're going to be going over the kind of the Monday check-in series that I wanted to do with people. I wanted to, get an understanding of people's psychology in trading, how they're feeling, I want to understand what's affecting you, try and help you, get through maybe the situation you're in. Especially since May, I get a lot of messages, kind of about people in bad places in trading. Excuse me, I've just been football, 30 degrees in the UK right now, very hot. So sorry if I look a bit of a mess. Don't really care, but just letting you know. Quite frankly, I'll be brutally honest with people. And, if I think you're full of shit or you need to be told a certain way, we're just going to do that. If I don't think it's for you, then I'll be brutally honest. And I think that's the best way we can go about these things. We can't sugarcoat a lot of the stuff because you'll never improve. So let's go through some of these. I got a message here. I'm feeling very bad and vexed. All my trades are going down and balance also decreasing a lot. Could not concentrate on anything. Not able to sleep. Always sleeping in bed. In May 13th crash, I lost 120,000 in futures and spot totally. I should have sold when it's halfway. I thought it will come back quickly, but in 2 hours again, it went down and drained my account. Currently have 30k, 15,000 in loans. Thought of doubling and setting in loan, but nowadays almost all trades going down and I'm unable to do anything, buddy. I really feel like crying. I should have withdrew, blah, 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 all these shouldas and wouldas. Well, the shouldas and wouldas don't matter anymore. The May 19th was 2 months ago. So what are you going to do about that now? You can't sell now. You can't take back that situation. Firstly, you've got 30 grand and 15 in loans. Just pay the loans off. Like, if you've lost that amount of money, what will happen now if you lose the rest and then you've got another 15 grand in loans? And where are you going to find that money from? Pay the 15 grand in loans. Put yourself on 15 grand. Reset. You need to reset now because you're still thinking about something that happened 2 months ago. And I understand because you've lost a lot of money. I've done it as well. I took a liquidation probably worth more than that, kind of starting off. And I understand the feeling of, you feel at the bottom, but at the same time, you've got money to start again. You're not completely liquidated, but you've got to get rid of this loan. Anyone with a loan in crypto, pay it off. I don't care what people say when they say, you should leverage the banks and all that bollocks. Pay the loans off, because if something goes wrong and you're not an adequate trader and you're not risk management, because your risk management quite clearly was a pile of, it wasn't there. For you to lose nearly all your portfolio in one crash, quite clearly you're not ready to be trading with that size when you don't even have, sensible risk management. So firstly, pay off the loan. Then you've got 15k. You either choose now, you have a choice. You have to start to prepare yourself for becoming a better trader from the mistakes you made. Have you written down the mistakes you've made? Are you even using risk management now after what happened because you're trying to make it back? Is this why you keep making losses? Because you're not even probably following the rules now. If you're consistently making losses now, you're revenge trading, you're cutting positions, tiny bit in the red, that loss is constantly in your mind. If you can't scrape that loss, you will lose the rest of your money. It's that simple. You really need to now start to nail a strategy based on your mistakes. Because as a trader, if you can't learn from your mistakes, in the end, you're going to lose it all, and you're not destined to be a trader, quite frankly. It's the key thing to learn from mistakes as a trader. And I understand how low you feel, but think of it this way. How much lower are you going to get? The only lower you can get is if you lose what you have and you don't pay that loan off. That'll make you feel even lower. Pay the loan off and then start to rebuild. Think to yourself, I can't get no lower. If I'm going to be a trader, now's the time. I'm going to knuckle down my strategy and I'm going to head forward. You have to get that off your chest. It was, 2 months ago now. It's done. It's done. And you're going to cry over spilt milk for the rest of the year and then lose the rest of your money. It's not worth it. So that's all I can say on that one, being as blunt as possible. We're going to the next one. I'm getting silly ones here about. All right, so I've got one here. How did you overcome your loss? How did you take your emotions away after feeling so damn depressed, and how did it affect your futures trading? So if anyone who hasn't watched me, I basically got liquidated for 2.4 BTC and about 24F at one point. Some time ago. Obviously, it wasn't at the height of the market or nothing like that, but what the money ended up being worth was a substantial amount. For a good week, I was in the gutter. Like, I was seriously down, like seriously depressed. Didn't want to get out of bed. Just, a lot of things that people are probably going through from a crash. And then it got to a point where I still wanted to trade. Like, even after the big loss, I still wanted to trade. It was what I enjoyed. So then I had to look and say, all right, I know this loss was completely my fault. Like, every single thing that happened was my fault. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to implement, I need to set all these things that I'd done, writ them out, started building my plan. There's a video with kind of the rules I started to set, and I started to draft a strict strategy, and I started from, a small amount. And I said, no matter what happens, when I'm coming in a trade, I'm sticking to these rules. Before, I was new to leverage. I was not respecting the game at all, and you saw what happened. So from that point, I said, look, I either quit trading, I'm fucking down in the gutter, I ain't got a penny to my name, just working a fucking job, just a 9 to 5. I don't want to do that forever. So what I did, obviously COVID started just looking for side hustles during COVID, building up my money with my side job. So I started like a drop shipping store with COVID masks. I started buying and selling bloody PlayStations, weight benches, weights, all them things that people were, in hot demand just as COVID was starting. And then started putting all that into rebuilding a pot. And then I slowly started to just stick to strict rules per trade. Like, I did not budge from them. I noticed, especially in paid groups, I see a lot of things like, I missed a call and entered after, now I'm down. If you've missed an entry that it doesn't make logical sense, don't enter it, because it's your fault. All right, you're paying for signals, but if you've missed that signal and it's not the entry, if you take that entry, take the play when it's not the entry, then it's your fault. And I see that a lot. I get a lot of messages like, I entered 2% after whatever, some stupid shit. You got no choice. Like, I had no choice. I just brushed myself off. Like, I've been through a lot worse than a liquidation, but that was just the first time that I came into money, because I came from a poor background. That was the first time I'd actually had hands on, kind of a life-changing amount of money. So that was the worst thing about it. That I essentially came from a poor background and then had money that I'd never seen before and lost it. Was kind of the thing that played on my mind the most. But I'm not going to sit there and bitch about it, because I know everything was my fault. As soon as you realise that, then you move on. We've got another one here. So I don't want to start reading them if they're not ideal. Hi, I've been playing with a 100k account. Keep selling on minus 0.5% drops for better DCA. I don't even know what you mean, but why would you sell if you're going for a DCA? Quite clearly your entry is not ideal. But after 60 days, no cure. I joined the group for futures, but I keep calling the wrong ones. I used to gain 500 to 600 a day. Now it just keeps shrinking, and I'm thinking about calling it a day. I mean, your situation isn't really that bad, and you're already thinking about calling it a day. If you're not enjoying it already, then maybe it's not for you. you know, because your situation isn't that bad. You probably just need to brush up on your strategy a bit. Start taking your own initiative on positions. Selling for minus 0.5% drops. You're probably overexposing on positions as well. If you're playing with 100k, you know, how much are you putting down on a position that you're panicking on 0.5% drops? Like, why would you be selling that? It doesn't make sense. So you're probably overexposing. That plays on your mind. 100k, you overexpose on a position that moves 0.5%, and all of a sudden you're down a couple k or something like that. You know, you're probably overexposing on that because it doesn't really make sense. He was gaining 500-600 a day. You know, whatever your target is, great. But you know, if in this situation, your situation isn't that bad, and you're already thinking about quitting. Like, you know, if you want to quit already, then quit. But if you want to be a trader, then you brush it off. You realise that you're overexposing on these positions, and you get better. You know, I don't quite get what you mean by ask me if you're thinking about calling it a day. You know, I can't tell you to become a trader. You got want to become a trader, because most people don't make it in trading. You know, and if you don't feel confident in it, then over smallish drops like that, there's something seriously wrong. Right. Okay, this is an interesting one. Hang on. Oh, where's it gone? I've got problems watching my trades. Can't put my phone away. I do stop losses, but constantly looking for profit or loss makes my head heavy. Didn't read whole education, so don't know if there isn't an answer to my problem. Apologies if there is, I'll find them. Cheers, pal. I feel like I'm getting addicted. You are addicted. Constantly staring at your phone, that's an addiction. It's the same as social media, staring at Instagram, Facebook, all these, these things. It's the same as trading. And quite clearly, when you're entering positions, another example is you're not playing setups. You know what I can do? And I've been through this as well. And nowadays, I don't really have trading on my phone, you know, just as a combat, because I don't like taking trades on my phone, because you end up not playing to your strategy, not playing setups properly, all of these things. So firstly, why not just take it off your phone? You know, take it off your phone. Secondly, when you're playing a setup, you need to play for the setup. Otherwise, you're not trading. You're gambling. I mean, people will argue, oh, trading's gambling. No, it's not. You set a stop loss and you walk away from your screen. If you're taking an ideal setup where the risk-reward ratio makes sense, you know, you've taken a 4-hour mega resistance or a 4-hour support and it's hold, and you've gone long, you put your stop underneath and you walk away, because that's what you should be doing. Even if you're watching it, while you're staring at it like this, yeah, still on support, yeah, still on support. Like, what are you doing? Oh, it's bounced a bit. It doesn't make sense. You've got your stop loss and then you've got your targets. All of them should be preset before going in a trade. So you are addicted, absolutely. It's the same as social media. Trading is the same thing. You're like, and I've been there a lot of the time. Like, you walk away from a trade, you're wondering 5 minutes later when you're trying to do the washing up, oh fuck me, let me quickly check my phone. I wonder if it's moved a percent. Like, just play your setup and walk away. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself mad, and it's not healthy. Like, especially since going full time, I've tried to do as many things as possible to limit me away from the screen, because otherwise I'm going to sit there for over 12 hours a day staring at especially at the minute. Come on, the price actions are crazy. Like, you're literally burning your life away, waiting hours and hours for anything. Like, definitely addicted, and it's down to you to combat that. My biggest struggle is moving stop loss up too soon and getting stopped in small profit rather than letting ride for bigger gains. Hard to overcome this mentality. Well, it's not. You're overexposed again. The only people that care about their stop losses being hit are the ones that are overexposed. The saying is, right, this is a saying I love, learn to become a professional loser, right? That means in trading, you can take, 5 losses and it won't matter. Why? Because you took a setup that logically makes sense and your stop got hit. The risk reward was fine. You lost a small fraction. Now, those 5 got hit. This same, your same style, you hit 1. It will outweigh, more than likely, all of those losses heavily. You have to learn to take losses. But when I say take losses, that doesn't mean you know, these people are going in with so much in a position that they're scared to hit their stop loss because they lose 20% of their portfolio. They lose 50%. They lose 80%. Like, they're losing so much of their portfolio off one stop loss. Do you know how many times they get stopped out? Like, an insane amount. Like, it doesn't make sense. You can have a negative hit rate in trading and still be massively profitable. You have to learn to take losses, but to do that, you have to not overexpose in your positions, and that's what people are doing because they're too greedy. They're not compounding profits. They're trying to do it too fast. So everyone that has that profit, that problem of oh, I'm scared that I move my stop, it's going to hit my stop loss, is because you're overexposed. You know, if a stop loss is 1% away, what do you care? Like, come on, man. Doesn't make sense. Took out a BBL for my business in 2020. Funny enough, selling merch through Shopify. Ended up with 25k in crypto. At the top, grew it to 500k. Okay, good job. Since then, the drops I managed to get out with 150k. I'm trying to look at this as a positive. I've been trying to trade the range unsuccessfully. I think the Fest has set it, and I'm finding it real hard to ride out trades that go in red. I'm moving stops too early. I'm buying res. I'm shorting support. Basically a total mess, worrying about every trade. I've lost 6k in the past week, but yeah, this is a standard thing. Also, how do you deal with your natural bias? For example, I just started buying spot, hoping none would go up. I was giddy, hoping field ball. Since we're going sideways down, I find it really difficult to short. The second I see it moving up, I think that is wrong. Moon time, you know, blah, blah. Well, you know, quite clearly you're emotionally invested a lot here. First off, congratulations, because you are heavily profitable still. All right, you went 25 to 500k. You lost a lot, but in the end, 25k to 150k, very good. Now, how did you do that? Let's identify how you did that, because it wasn't trading the range. It wasn't in the range. It was trending. And now you're struggling with the range. Simple. Reset yourself. Either don't trade it or completely size down. Completely size down to a point where what you're trading with doesn't really matter, and focus on hit rate. Focus on learning this range, because this range is a huge learning experience for a lot of traders. You know, huge. This is the time to be using it to learn. It's not about making money here. If it's your first time in the range, simply, you know, you need to test the waters. This range will suit scalpers heavily. If you've never traded a range and you're used to this trending market, it's not, you know, you need time to adjust, and you're probably going in with the same mentality because you saw 4 months of up only, you know. But what's happened is it's euphoria. You know, everyone's holding on to this euphoria, and what you've got to realize is, you know, it's things like that don't last. The bubble does burst. The bubble will pop, and now we're in a point where, well, you know, it's a bit touchy. We're at the bottom of the range, but in the most part, we've been downtrending. When you get a sell-off like that, like to the degree it was, that's worrying. You know, it's a worrying time, and you need to be able to identify that you're not going to recover that so quick. Billions wiped out. You know, liquidation cascades, big players, small players, you know, hugely wiped out. The liquidity in the market significantly dropped. You know, fear amongst people. Why would it be up only? You know, anyone that's, you know, gone full maxi during this time has been completely wrong. Completely wrong. And I understand it's not easy to switch bias, and I can say things like invert the charts and whatever, but it's down to you to become a trader. You know, trading. You know, there's a difference. Investing and trading. And a lot of people are investors that didn't sell quick enough. They're not traders. Yeah, they're simply invested in the crypto market because it was booming, and now they don't know what to do because they're not traders. They don't understand the market. They don't understand macro. They don't understand the economy. All these things, crude oil, the dollar, you know, inflation, all these things that play a part. Mining, like all these things that play a part in this market, they do not understand. They don't know about. Most of them probably never heard of it. So a lot of them were just investors, and that could have been you. And if you're an investor, absolutely fine. But just identify now that the conditions for the last 2 months have been different. And if they don't suit you, keep your money, wait for a trending market and do it. If you want to trade, you want to learn to trade this, completely size down, focus on the setups you're playing with minimal portfolio. You know, fuck the money for a minute. Focus on being, you know, the hit rate, you know, the trade you're taking, the percentages that you're earning on the trades. Whether it's $10, focus on the percentage that you are earning on these $10. Focus on hitting a 10%, you know, or a 15, 20, 50% move on that position. You know, if you're using leverage. If you're in spot, obviously it's different. Now's the time where a lot of alts are doing the alt cycle where they've done their move, and now they're gonna slowly spiral into an accumulation zone. You know, the good projects will last, the shit ones will die. And then that's down to you. If you're a fundamental investor, you've got to start researching in things that you think for the future of crypto, because, you know, crypto's not going anywhere. Simple as. But if you want to be a trader, size down and focus on that, on the percentages. All right. What's this? 20 minutes. All right, we'll leave it there. I mean, hopefully this video's all right. I'm not, you know, I've been saying I'm just kind of adjusting to publicly speaking. Like, I'm not really a social media guy until crypto. So it's good that, you know, crypto's given me kind of a platform to speak my mind freely, because I'm not really, you know, I never really was a camera person. Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, not really for me. So I'm hoping I'll just keep improving. Hopefully this was all right. I've just done it on my iPad. I was watching a video. He said, just do it, man. He's just said, you know, don't worry about, you know, the fancy equipment and all that kind of bollocks. Just start it. Just start recording videos and then go from there. So yeah, obviously we'll try and do these every Monday. Write in the comments maybe something you're going through and I'll try and cover it. Drop the video a like, share it. Just let me know any feedback. All right. Thank you very much.